What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be recommending books based on Dcom extras. Disney Plus just dropped last week, and if you don't know what it is a streaming service where you can watch all things Disney, including your favorite Dcom extras. Dcom extras, if you don't know what they are Disney original movies, and personally, I wasn't a big Disney fan growing up. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid and PBS, and sometimes Barney. But I love Dcom extras, and I feel like that's why I love contemporaries, because most of them have a similar plot line, and there's so many books that I was looking at during the research of this to come up with a list, and I was like, these are amazing. They should be a Dcom extra, so let me know if you want a video of that where I just talk about that. This is also a Patreon video where I am going to be giving 9 or 10 recommendations. Currently I have 5 patrons. Thank you to all of them. Their names are always at the end card, and I appreciate them so much. So that was my little spiel. I am going to give you 10 recommendations for Dcoms, and before I start, I just want to say Simon & Schuster actually has a whole list, so I will link it down below. I saw that they posted it the day of, and I was like, okay, I can do that, but they went on like a different approach. So for me, I just thought of what the movie was and what book is similar. They took the approach where they're like, okay, here are some things that are in the movie, like here's the messages and here's a book based on the message. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your favorite Dcom extra is, and let's get started. The first Dcom extra I have is Read It and Weep with Danielle Panabaker. I think that's how you say her name.
This one accidental click of the stylus that rocketed my personal private journal into cyberspace would send a shockwave roaring through the kingdom.
I loved this so much. There are so many books I could recommend. If you don't know what this one is about this girl who accidentally hands in her journal, or like some fictitious journal based on her life that she's been writing, and she hands it in as a class assignment by accident in her English class. It gets picked up and she basically becomes a famous writer. But she just kind of figures out that she doesn't like the way that this is going. I really enjoy how it's filmed, honestly. Like, the editing and stuff is cool. She has like her conscious, who is like her sister in real life, like be in the movie, and I hope I'm making any sense, but yeah, I just really enjoy this, and there's a romance, and it just kind of shows how like fame can overtake you and you leave your friends behind, and I feel like that's like every Disney movie, but I just really enjoy this. And so my recommendation is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Sapia. This is about a girl named Eliza, and she has a famous comic story that's on like Tumblr basically, and it becomes really popular, and she meets this boy who's a new kid at school, and he actually knows, and they become friends and maybe something more. It does have trigger warnings for suicide and depression, and I just really enjoyed this, and it really reminded me of that movie, and that's probably why it's my favorite. And just a little fact, this actually is based on a book called How My Private Personal Journal Became a Bestseller by Julia DeVillers. And so go check it out if you want to read it. Next is another favorite. Honestly, every Dcom is so good. Like, I was talking on Twitter and I was like, is there a bad one? Like, I don't think that there is a bad one. But this is Stuck in the Suburbs.
This is Jordan Cahill's phone.
This is all about this girl who is just having like a boring time, I guess. Like, it's called Stuck in the Suburbs, and they're just kind of bored with the suburbs until a American pop star lands in their suburb, and they meet him by like running into their PA or something like that, and then like it's kind of a whole like crazy journey. I don't know, I feel like there's so many Dcoms that are like this, but this one is like the OG, and it's really good. So I'm gonna recommend Entangled Teen series called the Backstage Pass series. This series just follows girls with this band. So it's like there's a band and then all of the stories are them like getting into relationships. I only read a couple of them, but I think that people would enjoy them. I enjoyed when I read them. They're just like short and sweet, and yeah, I really enjoyed this series. It's good, and if you like boy bands and you like romance, I think you would enjoy that. And if you're a fan of Stuck in the Suburbs, I think that you would enjoy this as well. I feel like any boy band book could work for this, but these are really underrated and I thought I would recommend them. I haven't recommended them in a couple years. Next is another favorite. Like, this video is just making me so excited and making me want to just watch all of these, which I probably will end up doing. And this is Double Team.
Disney Channel original movie based on a true story of twins Heather and Heidi Bird.
It's probably been like 10 years since I've watched these, so sorry if like I'm not good at saying like what they're about. My next favorite is Double Teamed, and this follows two girls who are twins, and the one is very athletic and she loves basketball. The other one is not so much, and now that I'm thinking about it, there's a Disney show called Liv and Maddie. I don't know if it's on anymore, but why did they take Liv and Maddie and make it a TV show when that was a Dcom? Anyway, so what happens is the twin who plays basketball ends up getting injured, and so her twin learns how to play basketball and goes in for her, and I'm going to be recommending Avant-Garde's Volume 1. It is a comic and it is great. It is about these queer college students who are trying to form a basketball team, and it's just great. So I thought I would recommend that because it does follow like someone doing something new. This girl like played basketball, but she just kind of like wants to be over it, and she also transferred to a new college, and I just enjoy it. So if you want a basketball queer diverse book, I highly recommend that one. Then go and watch Double Teamed after you've read it. This is just me like fangirling over Dcom extras basically. Like, this is me just being nostalgia for however long this video is. Next is an iconic Dcom, and this is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Put the food away, honey?
Nope. I cooked it instead.
Another tale where the lead has to decide whether to follow his dreams or do what's expected of him. Eddie is a star baseball player with a secret penchant for cooking.
This is great. This is like a household staple for us. Like in my house, like my sister, this is her favorite one, and so I feel like I am dedicating this to her. So Jamie, this is for you. And I'm going to be recommending the music of What Happens by Bill Koenigsberg. It came out this year. It is amazing. It made my 2019 list. I have a video of my best books of 2019 so far, so it will be up here and down below if you would like to go and watch it. I love this book and I love Eddie, so these two are so similar, but this is gay. So the music of What Happens follows Jordan and Max, and they are working on a food truck for the first time. They're working on Jordan's dad's food truck because he had died and left it, and Jordan is trying to help his family pay rent basically, or their house is going to go into foreclosure. Max plays baseball like Eddie, and they're both gay, so we get a male-male romance, which is fire. Like, it's so good. And we also get some culture. There's Mexican heritage, and this is also set in Arizona, and that was an interesting setting. We've got some cactuses. Eddie doesn't have cactuses, I don't think, but I just really enjoy this book, and I think that these two are paired so perfectly. We've got food and baseball. What else could you want? Next, I know I've already said like all of these are my favorite, but honestly I think that this is like my all-time favorite. This is Lindsay Lohan's best work, in my opinion, and this is Get a Clue.
This month on Disney Channel.
Have you ever written something that caused something else to happen?
Lexi's the coolest girl in school, but when something she writes leads to trouble, she's got to solve the mystery herself. Lexi Gold is played by Lindsay Lohan.
Iconic. I honestly am gonna probably watch it today because it's my favorite. I love it so much. And so this follows Lindsay Lohan, and she realizes that her teacher is missing and she's trying to figure out why. And all her friends think she's crazy. But it's so good, I just really enjoy it. I'm going to be recommending 2 thrillers that I actually read last month. First being The Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. This follows a woman who got in a car accident and lost her memory, and she's trying to recall the events of what happened because somebody was murdered and she doesn't know why. And they also find someone going through their things in their house, the stranger in the house. So I personally didn't think this was my favorite one, but I still want to recommend it if you like to get a clue, because you might like this. It kind of has a similar storyline, that there's a mystery, there's a house, and there we go. That's really all the reasoning why I'm recommending this, but I thought I would include it in this video. Next is my favorite book. Oh my god, this was great. And this is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. A great thriller, probably one of my favorites, and this follows a girl who becomes an apartment sitter for this building in New York called the Bartholomew. And there are some strict guidelines where she cannot leave the room, like she can't go and stay over at someone's house. She has to be in the room every night, and she can't have any visitors, and she's nosy and she's like, okay, what's happening? This is kind of weird. After a apartment sitter goes missing, and so she tries to go and find her, and so basically she becomes Lindsay Lohan and like whoever her character was in Get a Clue. I definitely got Get a Clue vibes while I was reading this, so that's why I recommended it. And if you're looking for a thriller, I highly recommend this. I actually have 3 recommendations for Get a Clue. So here's the last one, and this is if you want like a YA book, because those 2 are adult. And this is This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. And this follows a girl who meets these 2 twins, and she finds out that their mother was a famous painter. She painted something for her children and it was missing, so they go and try to find it. So this also gave me some Get a Clue vibes, so I thought I would include it. Next, I have Lemonade Mouth.
Hard to believe that the story of how their band came to be began here.
Next, we have a Lemonade Mouth, and this is actually a book. I haven't read it, but I know it exists as a book. And I actually have 2 recommendations for this, so I'm going to recommend them as I explain what this is about if you've never seen Lemonade Mouth before. For the detention part, I'm going to be recommending All in Pieces by Suzanne Young, because this follows a girl who is in poverty, but she also goes to a detention center after she stabs a kid in the eye with a pencil. And honestly, if you've read the book, and if you do read the book, he deserved it. So there is that recommendation. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I think, doesn't someone die in Lemonade Mouth? I think that does happen. I'm kind of getting confused with like Band Slam, so I'm trying to like not say that that's the same movie. So for the band aspect, I'm going with The Beauty That Remains by Ashley Woodfolk. If there's any book you should read before the end of the year, it's this one. It's a goodie. It's good. I recommend it. This follows 3 teens that are grieving the loss of people that were close to them, and I do think that that is a theme in Lemonade Mouth. I'm pretty sure that there's a scene where like someone, like, I could be totally wrong, but I think that something like that happens, but I could be wrong. I could be thinking of Band Slam. I don't know. But I just enjoy this. It does follow a band. It's like in the background, but it's just, oh my gosh, it's just so good. Please read it. Like, I just love it. Please read it. That's all I've got. Like, this is me just peer pressuring you to read this book. It's so good. It follows grief. It follows music, a band. It's awesome. I really enjoy it. It also has gay representation. There's a male-male romance. It's awesome. Please read it. Next, we have 2 more. Next is the iconic, like, this is like super iconic, and this is Camp Rock. I love this, especially because it has my girl Allison Stoner, who was my like childhood crush. I loved her. She's great and she's still poppin'. I love her. So I have I don't even know if I have to explain Camp Rock, but if you don't know what it is, it follows the Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato, and they are at a camp for singing, and Demi Lovato's parents like work there as like caterers or something like that. They just like provide food to the campers, and Demi Lovato just wants to like sing but she can't or something like that. Sorry, it's been a while. My memory of all of these movies is from like 2008, 2009, so it's been a hot minute since I've watched any of them. I don't know. We've just got music. We've got the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, and Alison Stoner. For Camp Rock, I have 2 recommendations. The first recommendation I have is Be Prepared by Vera Broskal. This follows her, like, this is fiction, but it's still like based on her own experiences at her first Russian summer camp, and this is such a good camp story, and so I thought I would include it for Camp Rock. And for the music aspect, I have P.S. I Like You by Casey West. This follows a girl named Lily, and she is a undercover songwriter basically. She's like very secretive about it, and she just doesn't really want anyone to know or let them see her songs. And so I know this is like a Dcom book recommendations, but this really gives me Austin and Ally vibes, which was like some Disney Channel show about music with Ross Lynch. This follows a anonymous crush trope, so if you enjoy that and you enjoy Camp Rock, I think you would enjoy this. Lily reminds me a lot of Demi Lovato's character, so I really recommend these 2.
This is me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me.
And here's the last and final recommendation. Saving the best for last is Xenon. Iconic. Like, all of these movies are so iconic. Xenon is set in space, so I have a sci-fi book, and this is On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. This is a graphic novel set in space at like a space school. So we've got a lot of Xenon vibes going on in this book. And so if you haven't read it already, it's really good. It has queer vibes, it has a non-binary character, and it's just good. I really enjoy it. And it's really long. It's like a 500 page. So if you are watching Xenon and then you're like, I need more, here you go. I got you covered. Next, I have Life is Rough with Corey Baxter, or is that his name? I think that's his name in Corey in the House as well. So we've got Corey in the House, and he is a dog walker. And I am pairing this with The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, which follows a girl named Andy who actually has a presidential father, so maybe he knows Corey, maybe they're like friends or something. And she's a dog walker, as you can see on the cover. Yeah, that's why I paired it together, because this is the only book I know about dog walking. And Life is Rough is a good one. I think that Andy would really appreciate this book recommendation, and I'm sure that this is her favorite Dcom as well. Hello, I forgot the last recommendation. This is for the Lizzie McGuire movie, which is basically a Disney movie. I'm pretty sure that it's a Disney original movie. I would say it is. Sorry if it's not, but it is an iconic, great movie, and I'm going to recommend to you Love and Gelato by Janet Evans Welsh. This follows a girl whose mother passes away and she has to go to Italy to live with her father, and her mother left a journal, and she gets to learn all about who her father is and who her mother was, and have a fun time in Italy, eat some gelato, and she meets a boy, not in the way that Lizzie did, but I think that these two are very similar. And so if you like that movie, please read this if you haven't. It's a good one. The audio is also really good. So that is my last recommendation. Now to the outro. Hi, welcome to the outro. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for being a patron. Today is #ThankYouPatrons Day, so I just wanted to hop on to say thank you so much for being a patron. Honestly, it makes my day. I didn't think anyone would even become a patron when I started Patreon, so the fact that I have 5 people supporting me is amazing. I hope you're having a great day, a great month, and just thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed these recommendations, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Dcom is. And yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.